Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 170, February 19th.
Yes.
And I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey!
Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys, how's it going tonight?
I would say it's going great, except everything is now backwards and I keep looking in the wrong directions for stuff that has not changed in nearly 2 years, or nearly almost 4 years, I guess.
So, Clyde, you are in a new location.
I am.
Are you far away from your old location or not that far?
Kind of. If you go upstairs and then the opposite side of the house.
Oh, so really far.
Kind of. Except I was supposed to have had my third monitor by now, so everything's like all crammed on two and I'm backwards and it's
so sorry.
Taking me,
So this is not your final form, is what you're saying.
From what you can see there, there should be.
So okay. Just
we'll do something about that ugly curtain, but yes.
Okay.
But yeah. Other than that, sorry for the late start and the false start and everything else that's been going on today. How are you guys doing?
Good here.
Hey, we are here. Glad to be here tonight, and not as cold as you are up there, that's for sure.
Oh, it is. Let's do a weather check.
No,
weather
not
check
this.
2020.
Dun, dun.
I just did a weather check for you. It was 4 degrees.
That sounds about right.
The weather.
Oh,
it's coming.
No, my phone. Well, Minneapolis might be 4. It is currently 3 degrees here. Yes.
Yeah, that's normally I would say 1 degree is not a big deal, but that is a 33% increase that I gave you.
This is one of the few times that I'm thankful for the real feel where they say it, this is the temperature, but this is what it feels like. Normally it'll say like it's -2, but real feel -20. Right now it says -3. Real feel 10. Well, actually 10 is a lot warmer than 3.
Yeah.
So this morning it was cold. It was 27 degrees, which is fairly cold.
Yeah.
And but by this afternoon it has swung all the way up to 55. I had I was down to no jacket. It was so nice. I really, really am really happy to have some spring-like temperatures again up here. Finally. So yay, it's coming, guys. I swear. It will get warmer. I promise.
They keep saying that, but I don't know.
I guess I won't mention that it's 77 here right now. Right?
Not to mention this weekend, there are people that are going to go swimming right across the street for money or for charity. They do this polar plunge every year where people God. They cut a hole in the ice and then people like jump in and swim, and it's like, no, you're stupid. No, God put the ice there to protect us from that sort of idiocy. That's the way you die. Hey, people are dying, so I'm gonna do something that could kill me to raise money to hopefully,
It's like the world's biggest ice bucket challenge. The bucket is the entire lake. You jump into it, kind of thing. Basically. Yeah.
I mean, right now there are people that are camped out on the lake. That's how cold it is with their vehicles. So, yeah. If you can drive on a lake You should not be cutting holes in it so you can swim.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do we have to talk about?
We have some news for this week. We're going to start with a cool announcement from the guys at Ubisoft. They're introducing a new VR experience called Prince of Persia: The Dagger of Time, and it's a VR escape room. This is using the information that's the kind of storyline from the Dagger of Time series, which actually, if you ask me, is one of my favorite games of the 2000s, to create a 2 to 4 player escape room experience that you can play in VR, where you two will have to work together with your friends in order to figure out how the puzzles that get in the room. Being the Dagger of Time, you will be turning back the clock on occasion to make these various traps and tricks work. So should be fun.
This.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm formulating my opinion as we speak.
This is new to me. I haven't heard about this idea before. I mean, obviously, escape rooms have become really, really big. This is not new entirely. They indicated that, in fact, Ubisoft has already done some of the Assassin's Creed title related escape rooms, not interpreting Assassin's Creed titles, but escape rooms in that setting. But I agree. The Prince of Persia titles, there were a lot of really good ones, especially the earlier ones in the early 2000s. And I liked those titles, so I am very excited about this. This to me is the whole purpose of having VR and AR type functionality is the ability to enhance and take an experience to a different level, and to be able to engage and interact with things in the real world and stuff. I find this super fascinating and exciting, and would be totally interested in trying it.
I don't know how I feel, because I don't have an emotional attachment to this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a feeling if this was something that I loved, I would probably be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why would you be angry?
Well, no, just because, when it's something that you love and there's a good chance that they're going to take that thing you love and just drag it through the mud, you're almost better just doing something that doesn't have any attachment. So I find the fact that this is a physical VR thing, when I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be a VR game for home, but this is going to be at 300 locations or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's interesting. The idea of doing a VR room where you can just basically change the content rather than having to physically build a different room each time is cool. I have a feeling that I would not like this as much if I was a huge fan of Prince of Persia, but
So Prince of Persia, the problem with Prince of Persia, it's an extremely old game. The guy who made it, the original Prince of Persia is an amazing game for the systems it came out for, and I could never get very far in past it, so there was always a problem for me. But it was an amazing game for its time because of its design. But it's been remade 6 or 7 times. Mm-hmm. Prince of Persia 2, Prince of Persia 3D, Prince of Persia Sands of Time, that's a trilogy, and Prince of Persia, the reboot after that with the guy with the scarf, and I don't know how many other times. Some of those were horrible. So yeah, they can screw this up and nobody will care at this point. It's
and that's exactly the thing. The first one or the first, I think 2 were actually really good. They were extremely difficult games. I agree with you. I never was able to complete either of them. But I agree. The series went downhill. I stopped paying any attention to it after about the second or third one. But the thing that's interesting about this is it is not Prince of Persia redoing the game or trying to do something that would detract from the world of the game. It is utilizing the elements and the mechanics of that world and the look and feel of that world in a game. And so that's great for a lot of reasons. People that are fans of the game can get a little bit of the sense of the game and a little bit of the nostalgia without having to recreate and mess up existing lore and stuff like that. And then the other thing is, it's also really easy to update those to more current graphics and stuff. I don't remember a single Prince of Persia game where any of the graphics would even be relevant in any way today. So, because after the first or second one, they weren't relevant in their day, really.
Yeah. And Clyde, before we get off this story, do you still have the website there? Can you bring up that graphic that's there on the site?
I can't show it because browsers block capture now. Yeah, that's
why
Anyway.
you can capture a screen and have the browser on that screen. That's how I get around it.
yeah here. Well, I mean, everybody's got the link in the chat. They can follow it.
So if you look at the graphic there, I mean, is it just me, or when you look at that graphic, do you see the scene from Ghostbusters where they're crossing the streams?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, obviously you guys have never played the Prince of Persia games called Sands of Time, which has the Dagger of Time in it, which you guys seriously, it's one of my top 10 games of all time. If you guys are interested in that kind of a puzzle platformer with some combat in it, it's an amazing game. I really recommend the very first Prince of Persia of this style. And this is also the one that they made a movie out of, and the movie is not very good, so you can skip that. So that's fine. But so I'd be interested only because I do have an emotional attachment to this. So absolutely, this is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. I just figured they were so dehydrated they were like peeing dust. I mean, Persia, otherwise now known as Iraq, is a very harsh and
Indeed
desolate area. So, yeah, I suggest everybody follow that link to the story and check it out. And I suggest we move on to the next thing.
We can. Hey, guys, guess what? You guys are going to be so excited about a new movie coming out in 2021. It's V2 Escape from Hell, and it's entirely shot in vertical format.
So
Yes.
let me clarify. The plot of this story is finding a way to stop watching the movie.
But
Right?
it's so good you can't put it down even though it's in vertical format. That's the conundrum.
So, where are they? How are they going to show this in theaters?
It's not intended for theaters. It is actually intended for viewing on smart phones and other.
Okay. So this
tablet-style
movie
devices.
is intended for idiots.
Correct. Or it's intended for that idiotic format. I agree.
Or
I mean,
masochists that want to subject themselves to vertical video.
No, I understand that holding your phone like this is a lot more comfortable than holding your phone like this.
Sure.
You know, I get that, but
you didn't want to watch a video like
I
that.
don't want to
and
watch
I get
a
that.
whole movie.
Did
This
they-
going to be like a whole 2-hour movie?
Did they say how much was going to be the price of this movie?
So there's no information about price. I don't have any information. I don't immediately see any information here about how long the movie's going to be. But this is from a director, Bekmambetov. I cannot pronounce it. There's a Russian director who's making two versions of the film, one in Russian and one in English for wider audiences around the world. And he's done other Snap original films, Dead of Night, and other movies that he's done in little things, these little short films in this format. So, but yeah, this should be probably a 90-minute, an hour, 90-minute movie that we're going to see from
That does
this format.
sound like
And
hell.
so V2 Escape, and V probably stands for vertical. So you know.
Well,
Yeah,
if
well.
V stands for vertical, then what did K2 stand for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. That was
yeah.
Was that Stallone in K2?
No, K2 is a mountain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what does the K stand for?
No
Well,
idea.
because they, as was recently established with Quibi being quick bites, then that
Yep.
makes Hulu huge lunch.
I think it was.
So if
Spectrum
V2
was
is
in
vertical-
limit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what K2 would be. Okay.
And I think that when I hear V2, I think of the rocket.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all right. Hey, so Roku had their annual, or not annual, their Q4 earnings report, and there was a lot of little tidbits they dropped in during their report. They now have 36 million active users. They are talking about the fact that 33% up, sales up 33% from, and they're going to be seeing from the same period last year. And they are talking up about all the various new channels that have been coming out, and one's coming out, like Viacom CBS. Apparently, that's the announcement is coming next week for that one, and that's how that's expanding their streaming and how things are working with them. It's been a big year for them, and the various features and new products they've been coming out with, and the new services they can coming out with. It's been a pretty good year so far. They're calling this the streaming decade.
I'm not surprised about the numbers. The only surprise is I thought it would be more. I thought the number would be bigger. I was actually surprised that it was only 33 million or 36 million. But if you've been paying attention, after they did their Q4 announcement, like the other day, or whatever Q that announcement was, their stock took kind of a hit because I think investors got spooked. Still way better than it. I mean, it's still better than it was, this time last year because it's been steadily. I am continue to kick myself for not buying into the IPO back in 2017 because it opened up at like 25 and then it tanked.
Right.
Like down to almost $10 a couple days later, and I was like, I know I should buy, but I didn't, and now it's up to it. Even at the hit that it took, they're down to what? Still $130 a share. It's like, yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah,
if you want to buy, if you wanted to get Roku stock, I think now is the time to get in because there's no way it's staying. Here, it's got to recover.
And it might be a good time to buy Quibi if you think it might actually survive.
Yeah. Did they do an IPO?
No,
I don't think they're publicly
yet.
traded.
No,
I don't think they
I
are.
don't think so. But if they were, somehow you can invest in them. That would be probably a good time to do it.
Write a check to Meg Whitman and title it cash.
I mean, if you think about it, Roku would even be a good, buyout opportunity. Right?
We are not financial advisors. Please do not consider us.
Unless you make a bunch of money, then I will take my cut.
I'm just, in other words, what I'm saying is you can hedge your bet because I think with Roku, either one, the stock's just going to continue to climb like what Clyde said. And the worst thing that would probably happen would be somebody would buy it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think they're in a good position. I still think, even though people are kind of scared because where are they going to go from here? That's exactly what people were saying like 3 years ago. Was okay, you've gotten this far with hardware, but you're only hardware. Where are you going to go from here? And they, they were saying, hey, we want to do media and sales of, Roku stuff on other platforms, and everybody laughed, and that's what they've been doing. Yeah. And they're still moving.
Yeah, and Roku is going to be fine. And I think the only reason why the stock took a hit is that there was some analysts that come out said that the competition that they have out there with all the new services was the worry, right?
Yeah.
And but I don't think that's much to worry
I don't either because, and that's what I thought was dumb because the other services isn't really their competition because those other services are on their platform.
Exactly.
Yes, they are competing with now in the ad-supported free content, yes, there are there is new competition coming, which we've talked about, but
and the guys that are giving those analysis are financial advisors, and I don't know if I would take much stock into those guys, right?
but yeah, no, I don't see Roku going away or being sold anytime soon.
Yeah, me either.
They are currently, I would say, they are where TiVo was back in 2003, just like ready to dominate. So
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm sure. Well, the big players are obviously right now Amazon, Roku, and Apple. I mean, those. I mean, nobody's going to be bigger than those three, as far as I can tell, anytime soon. Even Android TV, unfortunately, is until something happens.
well, and I mean, even
know
at
if they're
this
going to come
point,
back with us.
hardware sales isn't the big
Right.
money maker for Roku. It's their ad sales.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and the Roku app is available on pretty much every platform. So, even if you're not buying their hardware, I don't think they care. As long as you're using the app and you're getting them those sweet dollars from the ads.
Yep. Well, who also cares about whether or not you're using their app would be YouTube TV. YouTube TV has decided to pull the plug on any, bless you, by the way, on any of the users who are currently getting their YouTube TV app through the Apple App Store. As long as your subscription is going through there, you're going to be losing your access after March 13th. Google would like you to, instead of you going through the Apple App Store, which takes a cut of their profits, to instead go through the website and to sign up for it without those fees tacked on. This is very much like Netflix has done recently and other app streaming services in the past who have pulled out of the various stores which require their fee in order to get their pay through. So,
okay, first off, whoever wrote this, I hate them.
why do
They're
you
one of the people that, with they when you look at the headline, they're one of the people that are like super Apple centric, where
and the
it's
story
the
too.
App Store. I'm talking about the App Store.
Right.
There are like hundreds of app stores out there. What app store are you talking about? You know, he'll say, "Oh, there's only one app store." Obviously, it's Apple. I hate that. No, but I'm not surprised by this.
No.
I was surprised when they agreed to give Apple a cut of the subscriptions. I'm surprised it took this long. Google's known for kind of dipping their toe in the water and saying, let's see if it's worth it. Apparently it wasn't worth it. So, if you are a YouTube TV subscriber, it will still work. You can still sign up for it. You just can't pay for it through Apple.
Yep.
That's the only thing.
That's correct, and that's fine, because why are we all paying extra fees we don't have to anyways? No, eliminate the middleman. Do it without it. I agree completely.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
yes.
I think you'd want to subscribe to the YouTube from YouTube itself, right? I mean, it's YouTube TV.
Yep, that's true.
But I mean, everybody's doing these. Hey, we'll make it easy. You can just subscribe through one place, and then you get it all in one bill. Yeah, and
to include the YouTube TV.
Yeah. But oh well.
Hey guys, there's this new fashion accessory you may be very interested in. I mean, this thing looks really hip. I mean, I can't believe how awesome this thing looks. I mean,
Is it a hip? It's so hip because it is a hip?
It's a used hip. You get a used replaceable hip, and it's really inexpensive because it's used. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
No, it's a wearable jammer. That's right. This is an audio jammer that you can wear in order to make sure people can't use a smartwatch or a smartphone or a voice assistant in order to record what you're saying. And this thing looks like a really ugly polka dotted bracelet.
I was super
saying that it's an ugly polka dot bracelet is such an understatement and does not do this thing justice.
I was super excited about this until I saw it.
Me too.
You know,
exactly
okay,
how I
so
felt.
here's the thing. It's not that the technology isn't new. It looks like that because they couldn't find a way to technologically make it work. So they got it. You wear this thing, nobody will talk to you. And thereby, if they're not talking to you, they can't record you talking, you know?
People see you wearing it and they avoid you at such a distance that they won't be able to pick you up on microphones.
That's right.
Across the street to walk past you.
I mean, why didn't they just make it look cooler than that, right? Yeah.
Obviously, this is a tech demo and or an early concept piece that works, I'm sure. And so if they can, they would totally make it smaller. So, but it sure looks like
This is
they like leaned into, yeah, we know it looks funky. We're going to make it look really funky. This looks like the kind of thing some diva would wear to be kind of bling.
Make it look like something what Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne would wear. Don't make it look like
this looks like some I would expect someone on house arrest would be wearing around the ankle.
Yeah, that's
It puts your it puts your voice assistant on house arrest.
Oh, come on. I think it's really really
I like the concept. I would wear something like that in a heartbeat if it didn't look like that.
Yeah.
And I don't wear jewelry. I can't stand having jewelry on my skin. I would still power through it for something that could jam other people's equipment.
They're saying that they could build it for roughly $20. They'll probably would sell for twice that much, for 40 to 50. And you can, but also they want you to know that there are some legal implementations of using it possibly, you know, so be aware of that too.
Well, I mean, one of the things that is important to understand about this is that it is not just jamming. It's jamming the microphones from being able to receive audio, which means I can't talk on my cell phone to somebody else when I'm standing next to you. And
that's
so
why I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is though that it has potential legal repercussions as to
that's
being
why it
able
can't
to
look
stop
like that. It needs
other
to be
people
something
from utilizing
that nobody
functionality.
can realize it's actually you.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a tremendous gas to walk around with this thing on and just watch people. It's like their phone calls stop working and stuff like that. It would be.
Imagine if
pretty
you had a
enjoyable.
stadium full of people wearing these and the announcers couldn't broadcast the game. Like I said, I love this. I absolutely love this.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't like that.
What they need is something that looks basically like a smartwatch that you could actually turn it on and off. So it could be your smartwatch and you would be able to flip between it being a functioning smartwatch and a jammer that keeps everybody else's smartwatch from working.
This sounds like one of those things you would order out of the back of a magazine, you know, right next to the X-ray specs.
This is in the back of Boys Life magazine. This is what you would get if they had it now.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because since they're not allowed to sell weapons to kids anymore, yeah, that would be replacing.
Right next to the X-ray glasses.
Yep.
All right, we have a story here about Steven Spielberg's new series called Amazing Stories. Actually, if you might remember, there was an old series called Amazing Stories, and he's bringing it back for Apple TV Plus's lineup of shows, and it's a good thing because they need more shows on that service.
I thought
Anyways,
I thought this was the thing he was doing on Quibi.
I don't believe so. This is supposed to hit. This is Apple TV. Apple saying, "Hey, bring back Amazing Stories. We want it." And
Yeah.
looks like it's finally got. I did watch the trailer. It looks like looks halfway decent. It's kind of a little bit of a superhero vibe to it. So looks interesting.
Well, it's the thing about Amazing Stories is there is no genre. It can be anything because they're all independent, standalone episodes.
Actually, it looks like they're actually kind of running them. There are standalone episodes, but they kind of have a single theme for the whole series this one time. And I think there's only 6 episodes. I think I saw that correctly. So we'll see it. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. It'll be here on be streaming March 6th. So if you like the old show, want to see it, or are interested in seeing what other good stuff is coming from Apple TV Plus,
I was going to say because and BioCow pointed out, he said news stories or doing the World War II bomber guy draws an airplane story that already exists. Because I saw that picture and I immediately knew Amazing Stories because that was one of the, it would be like talking about the Twilight Zone and showing a picture of Talking Tina or, one of the other iconic stories. I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's not enough to get me to sign up for Apple TV. Hopefully somebody. I hope it's good. That's all I can say is I hope it's good. Because if it isn't, Steven Spielberg, you have a chance to sully your name.
Yeah. That's all right. No, did you guys? Yeah. So that was an amazing story. The one about the guy who literally draws the landing gear of the airplane when it lands. I didn't know that was Amazing Stories. I do remember that show, that movie though. I remember that one.
Because they did the Amazing Stories movie.
Is that what
right around the time they did the Twilight Zone movie, where the Twilight Zone movie redid a bunch of or at least there's a thing on the wing. Episode they redid it, but
yeah, if you remember the 80s band Aha, isn't that where they got the idea of the video they did?
I have no idea. All I know is that's still to this day the greatest music video ever made.
What, Aha?
Yep. Take on Me.
Yeah, Take on Me.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Redbox, remember them? They're still around.
Yeah.
They've recently stopped lending out video games, which is really sad for me and my son. So that's a sad thing. But they have introduced another streaming service. Like, we don't have too many. This is another free ad-supported streaming service that requires no login for you to access. You can access it right now on their webpage, which I believe is, what is the page? Just redbox.com/stream or stream live TV. And that allows you to go ahead and watch various different free TV shows with ads, much like you can get on other systems like Pluto and what was the other one that's free that lets you see that kind of stuff. There's tons of them. But they do have a couple of their own selections in there as well, some movies that they have rights to for you to watch, and they are planning to bring this out to other platforms. Tubi. And you don't have to sign up, though. You just got us one. You don't have to at all.
Okay.
I feel like this is like the death wail of Redbox, unfortunately.
This was compelling when Roku did it 3 years ago. Yeah. Much like the Redbox machine that I talked about a few weeks ago that's at my grocery store and it's unplugged. That's the one I want to get them to let me take it home, or I want to fill it up with AOL discs. But that's a past episode. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. Redbox branded.
Free TV.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm with you, Clyde. I'm not too thrilled about it, but I'll probably check it out though, just to see what it's about.
yeah.
See, Redbox needs to sell their name to Quibi, so the Quibi gets a better name. Redbox TV.
Do they?
Come on.
That's like saying, hey, Yugo, you're out. Another manufacturer should just pick up the Yugo name, but that Yugo name is tainted.
Yeah, but Redbox name is actually has a lot of good vibe with lots of people. People loved Redbox, and people still like their Redbox. They still like going to, especially people of certain they like to go out and get their movies in a non-digital way. So in a non-streaming way, this is a way for them to do it. So I think there's value in their name, and perhaps that's where most of the value is. So I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so Google has made some announcements about their streaming service. They've been pretty quiet for a while, but they've just announced that they're going to be bringing their service out to 18 new phones. So all you people with Galaxy phones and your Asus Republic of Gaming phones, you will now be able to access the streaming service using those devices. They've also said that they intend to give us more information in the future about new updates and new features that are coming soon. But as noted in the article, there has been a lot of silence from them recently. So, it's not anything that anybody is really, really excited about because of how Stadia launched. And we are still waiting essentially for either the free service or for the other games to start to be purchasable for it through it, or we need to wait until the end of this beta period.
Aside from the fact that I don't own a supported phone, the thing that I find really curious is right now there is no wireless gameplay. For a controller, you must use a plugged-in, physically connected controller.
That's true for the phones, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they said they will not use Bluetooth. They are trying to find a way to do it over Wi-Fi.
Right.
Why?
There
are already Bluetooth controllers out there that would allow, that most people probably already have, that they could just pick up and play this. And you're going to say, no, you need a special Wi-Fi controller and a good Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, I think that
eventually. Go ahead.
I'm saying that's a move I think that will end up hurting Stadia in the long run.
They do intend to eventually support Bluetooth controllers. They're right now only supporting their controller, and their controller is not. I mean, sure, it can do Bluetooth, but it is designed to go directly to Stadia over Wi-Fi. Is this the best? No, this is not the best solution for the especially if you wanted to try to play gaming outside of available Wi-Fi. But I don't think they're even supporting that just yet. So we'll see.
So can I ask an old man question here?
Absolutely.
Why couldn't you just use the screen on your phone? Why do you have to use a controller?
You might be able to, actually. You might be able to use on-screen controls.
Well,
that is a
a
feature.
lot of these games,
yeah.
A lot of these games.
Go ahead. You're saying what I'm saying, so go ahead.
No, I was going to say a lot of these games are like, this allows you to play console and PC games that aren't optimized for the screen. So you've got multiple buttons and fine control that you would not be able to do on.
You wouldn't have the same.
You could. I mean, there are games that have emulated
the special moves and that kind of thing you couldn't do as well on the screen. Okay,
at least it wouldn't. It doesn't have that tactile kind of feel. But
okay,
yeah. For example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the controls are far too sophisticated to be able to pull off on phone.
Plus, you'd be giving up valuable screen real estate for those controls.
It would not be a good experience. one of the things, so I don't know exactly what the belief is, though my inclination is that the reason that they don't want to do Bluetooth is because it introduces an additional step in the process, right?
Yep.
So if you connect to your phone and then the phone relays that to the router, which then relays that to the game and then back, you're adding several milliseconds of latency into the interaction versus Wi-Fi directly to the router from the device, which therefore is not having that extra step.
Their engineers are
about
correct.
2 milliseconds per. And when I say my indications, I Googled that. So
So their engineers are correct. This is probably the best way to eliminate that latency. Yeah. And I know latency is basically the biggest thing they have to beat in order to make this work. That being said, their sales department needs to grow a pair and say, you guys know that what you're doing is basically unsellable at this point. Make it work better.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody knows that the buying public are that they will be satiated by the facts. If you come out with technical specifications and justification for why you're doing this thing that they don't understand, they're just going to buy it and say, okay. Yeah, they're going to say, but I have Bluetooth. My phone does Bluetooth. I already connect it. Right. Why do I need this other thing instead? Is what everybody's going to be asking. So, okay.
That's okay. We'll see. It's still a shot in the dark. We'll see what happens with
So is Stadia the new Movie Pass?
I don't think so, because Movie Pass didn't have a gigantic company behind them to keep them alive. But
yeah, they did. Oh, but it quickly drained that giant company.
All right. Viasat is working with Fubo TV to offer a bunch of people in the air sports television, and I don't know if it's going to be live, but probably some live stuff available to you on your Wi-Fi solutions when you're in an airplane flight. Looks like they're working with various providers like United Airlines and JetBlue and American Airlines in order to provide the Fubo TV experience for in the air.
So Viasat is the most common provider for aircraft of streaming content. The fact that Fubo signed the deal with them is big, because that was one thing that they were missing was sports. And so, if you're going to be on a flight and you want to watch sports, there's a good chance that you will be able to, you will be introduced to Fubo in the near future. So, anybody watch TV when they fly?
Usually whatever I have recorded on my phone.
I'm talking the provided streaming content.
I've tried it. It's okay, but not great.
It's getting better.
A couple years ago. Okay, that was a couple years ago.
They've got live television now when you fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what this is. That's if you're seeing live television while you fly, it's probably from being provided by Viasat. They're basically, I was trying to think what the equivalent is. There was like a hotel network that was pretty common. This would be like that. So this is huge for Fubo. It's I would say coming off of the recommendation by Google or by PlayStation to check out Fubo, and also Google pushing their users to Fubo from the Google gigabit video. 2020 may be the year of Fubo.
Who knows?
Will Fubo carry the Olympics?
I doubt it, because NBC has a stranglehold.
Yeah. They may be able to get certain.
Maybe if you're on an airplane.
That's true.
Does NBC own the streaming rights 35,000 feet?
I think they own the exclusive streaming rights for the Olympics, though they may not have all events, it may be one of those where events that they aren't showing can be sold. I don't know. We'd have to look into that. But so you might be able to catch, like, say, curling with a country that
In the
is
summer?
not Canada, right? In the Winter Olympics.
I was going to say, during the Summer Olympics, you'll be able to catch footage from the previous Winter Olympics.
Yes.
Or maybe you get to see the dart competition or something like that. Huh?
Yeah, darts. Olympic darts.
I would watch that.
I think this is interesting. Anything that makes the movie experience, the flight experience, a little better. I've really enjoyed flying on Southwest and getting free movies. When we went to CES, I got to watch the Fast and the Furious one, Hobbs and Shaw, whatever, for free. I was probably never going to see it because I couldn't justify spending money on it. But you're sitting on a plane, and I enjoyed it well enough. So certainly worth doing while you're on a plane and you don't have anything else to do.
But
Absolutely.
why did you do that? You could have just watched the whole thing by sitting through that demo over and over at CES.
Yeah.
Well, the soundbar one. Yeah.
It was actually rather humorous because the timing worked out almost perfectly. I got about to almost exactly to that point on the plane. And then I went and I watched that big scene there. And then I got on the plane and watched the rest of it. And it worked out really nicely because I got to watch the biggest fight scene on the big screen with the surround sound. And it was great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm excited about this. Maybe.
Very cool.
Good.
Hey, AT&T now is adding a new marquee sports network. It's literally a network that's it looks like it's designed specifically for its Cubs games and other events like that.
So it's called Marquee Network is the network.
Right.
It is a collaboration between the Cubs,
Sinclair.
the Chicago Cubs, and Sinclair.
Yeah.
To be able to provide the games, which is, I believe, taking the lead from was it the Mets? There's a New York version of this that's been going on for a while. So this is big news because if you are a Cubs fan and you live in their network, you can't get the Cubs games on Comcast. Comcast will not pick up this network. They won't pay for it. But Hulu did. So now this is in addition to Hulu, AT&T TV Now will have the Marquee Network, which will allow you to watch Cubs games. So if you are not interested in the Cubs, then you're probably not interested in this. But if you are a Cubs fan, this is a huge deal because it means you can actually watch a Cubs game without going to the game.
Yay! You know, on the note of that, blackout rules suck, and they need to die in a fiery death. That's my opinion. That's all. Move along.
Yep, I agree. So
right.
I would say,
Are you a Cubs fan?
If a game is going to be blacked out, the fans should black out the anything by wearing those bracelets. Just
yes, it makes sense. They should sell a lot of them right at the theaters. I mean, at the theaters, the right at the stadiums.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You say, well, you want to black out the games, the other games? Well, we're going to black out all your games.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's it for this week's news, guys.
All righty. Well, that brings us to the point in the show where we like to thank all of you that make this show possible, that support us week after week after week after week after week after week. I could go on forever because is like you guys have been supporting us forever. So I appreciate it. We all do. And if you are not currently supporting a supporter but you find value in what we do and you would like to, you could subscribe like Jackie Hearn just did. Woo-hoo! Or you could head over to patreon.com and that's patreon.com/thebod squad. We don't ask for much. And as we decided a while back, we may not be a good investment, but we're better than a bad one. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie, for the sub. Really
thank you. Yeah, something like that. I don't know how to do that.
All right. And then this is the point where we would normally go to Big Voice Jay to get a movie draft update. But, you know, we don't have to because as we knew, I was going to win. And I have become the first 3-time winner in the Stream Team League. Previously, I was the first 2-time winner. I was also the first to win back-to-back summers. Now I've won. I've got a 75% win rate.
So Clyde, did you actually see how close it was?
Yeah. That makes it even better.
$3 million.
Yeah, I remember that's when we were talking about this 2 weeks ago. I said I might be able to pull this off. It is gonna be razor thin.
I didn't think it was going to be this close. I thought you were going to be $10 million ahead.
I was thinking around the 5 million mark.
Yeah, and then suddenly BS with BNS's movie Bad Boys came up with like a $5 million weekend out of nowhere. Just suddenly, and I was like, oh, I was watching that and going, oh, this could be a really big upset because you basically had already declared yourself the winner. And I was thinking, if the votes had come in, we're going to have a recount. Oh, I didn't want to have to do that and count all the votes by hand. That would suck. Congratulations and amazing season this time because everybody did really well.
See, I had to move to this room so I can get my plaques for the wall.
Let's think about this now. So how many teams were actually in the pole position at one point during the season?
We started off in the lead.
And you stayed there until
you got Movie Party moved into the lead with Frozen, essentially. We knew that we'd probably eventually lose it to Frozen or to Star Wars. And then both Game Night and BS with BNS both fought really hard for second and third place and almost first place. Yes, as mentioned in the chat, W Scottus won. Game Night was literally $1 million plus away. Yeah, less than $1 million from getting second place. Yeah. That first, second, third was a $4 million race. And we're 30 million behind you guys.
And W Scottus won. For the record, you can't stop me from getting a plaque made. Nobody said that you guys are providing them. Just like most places where you get an award like a Grammy, if you get a gold, your record goes gold, they don't just like send you one. You have to go out and have that made. So I will get my my awards made, and they will go right here for everybody to see.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get one of those ones that with the individual little plaques, so you can keep that because you're gonna have so many, right? You're gonna have to keep on adding to them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna have to do one, or I'm gonna have to do two, one for winter and one for summer, and then just keep adding. So now the question is, can I do a three-peat summer?
Well,
I did the repeat. Now we're up for three-peat.
Well, first of all, we need. You are going to be going in your own team with Movie Party again? You're not going to join us as the VOD squad?
I don't have a choice. I'm defending champ.
All right. Second of all, we are waiting for information on the next movie draft. We are waiting for the commissioners to decide on that. So we'll see what happens there. Until then, it's been a great season. Congratulations to everybody. And there are so many things that could have changed with little tiny changes in how the votes came out. This has been amazing. So,
Oh, and since you brought it up, I do have information on the next movie party.
yeah,
That will
what's
be
that?
this Saturday. We will be celebrating Black History Month, as we do every year, with the original Dolomite movie and Mr. Deathman. In the actual synopsis of the movie, there was a line that says that he fights a lesbian ninja and there's a rotary phone in a Lamborghini. Those are like the exact words of the synopsis of the movie.
Yep.
That's how great it is. So, Mr.
What is
Deathman.
the other one?
Dolomite.
No, not that.
The one I was just talking about, Mr. Deathman.
Mr. Deathman.
Yeah, Deathman is one word.
Oh.
All right.
So, this Saturday, 10 p.m. Central, and then tune in 3 hours early for Big Voice Jay's movie party pre-show, which is really the only reason to show up. The rest of the night you will regret. So at least do the movie party pre-show, and then you can like feel good about your day.
There you go.
Otherwise you can join us and come 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the next morning when we're still on there and you're finally going to bed, you're going, what am I doing with my life? But speaking of rants and raves, why don't we? All right, rants, raves, go.
I will go first. I will say that most of my TV watching has not so much. We have been watching the old 2000 series, which is called Cold Case, which is not Cold Case Files. It's a cop drama. My wife loves cop dramas, and so it's a pretty good one. Although it's a little depressing. Every episode feels depressing at the end for the most part because death sucks. But those have been really great because I actually been hard. You haven't been able to find that series anywhere for the longest time. Glad that Roku's brought it for us. The other thing is I went to the theater with my son and went to see the Sonic movie. So here's the thing: if you are a critic, you're going to hate it. If you're a kid, you're going to love it. If you like Sonic, you will not be. You will at least you won't feel like they screwed it up. If you don't like Jim Carrey, don't go see it. If you do like Jim Carrey, you're going to love it. And it's an okay movie. And saying that about a video game movie, a direct translation from video game to movie, that's high praise. So there you go.
All I know is every time I see posters for that, I see Jim Carrey, and I swear he's trying it. They made him look like that Robbie Rotten guy from Lazy Town.
That's kind of the feeling they wanted for him. He literally said in interviews, the mustache is designed in a way to make him look like the old cartoons, like the Rocky Bullwinkle cartoons, where he's got somebody tied up on some railroad tracks somewhere.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with Lazy Town, the bad guy on Lazy Town is ridiculous, and
the whole show is ridiculous.
Well, yeah. That's all I can think of, and I don't know if it's intentional, but okay. I heard that it's potentially good. I might be interested in seeing it.
If you don't know, wait for it to come to streaming. You'll be happy with at least with it. You won't want to gouge your eyes out. Let me put it that way. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just fine.
All right.
All right. I want to mention one thing that was maybe a story worth talking about, but we didn't get it in there because it's only mostly related. Alamo Drafthouse has, as of today, announced that they officially have a subscription service to their movie subscription. And I am very excited about this.
It's still beta. It's been out since last summer. It's just they've been slowly rolling it to different markets. It
But
came
now
here
it's
about a month
available.
ago.
It's available now at every Alamo Draft House.
Okay.
And so now I can finally do it for $20 a month. It's a little expensive, but you can do up to one movie a day.
Oh,
And you
worth
can
it.
do up to 7 days out. So you can't like book Star Wars 2 months in advance like everybody else is. But if you're willing to wait past that, then you'll be able to go see it every day as often as you want. There is a $2 upcharge on premium technologies like their 70 millimeter or their
Which
their 3D and
expected.
stuff. But totally reasonable, and the prices are pretty. I think that's $20 a month at the Draft House is a good deal. So I'm excited. I will almost certainly do this and cancel my Cinemark subscription and start doing the Draft House.
See,
so
this is a pure win for Alamo because their whole business model is to get you in, even if they have to give you a ticket, because you're still going to end up spending a ton of money on the food. So
yeah. When I go to Draft House,
profits.
Whenever I go to Draft House, I get dinner there as well. And so, it's a $60 to $100 dinner because, about $12 each for the movie and then, about $15 to $20 each. So I'm talking $25 to $45 depending on what you get. If you get a milkshake and a soda and some chips, but so we go and I like it. So this will save me money. At $20 a month, I'll be able to go multiple times a month and enjoy it. I'm very excited about this.
My friend Haley got the invite to the beta like a month ago. Because they finally launched the beta here. And she got the invite and she's like, I don't know. And I at the time, it's 40 miles away from me where I live. So it was like, yeah, that would have been great. Before, even when I lived on that side of town, it was still like, half-hour drive. But now I'm working on that side of the city, sort of, so I'll be closer. So I might actually look into this because I haven't been. I don't since Movie Pass went away. I haven't been going to movies at all. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, like I would have gone to see Knives Out. I would have gone to see.
Too.
I'd go see Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I would have probably gone, or I would go see Jojo the Rabbit. Like it lowers the bar for entry. And maybe if I was going that often, I wouldn't get a meal every time, but I would get something.
I always at least get a drink and popcorn.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like I said, I've been waiting for this with bated breath, and now happily I can say I can do it.
All right.
So that's it.
All right.
Cool.
So I have gotten this past weekend. I got caught up on Picard. I think I watched the very first episode when it first was released, and then I busy with work, got behind on it. But this past weekend, I got caught up on it, and I have to say, man, I'm really really digging Picard. Even I was a little worried about the age issue there. Would he be able to still pull it off?
Because he's the guy that never ages.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's
Patrick Stewart forever.
Patrick Stewart is not as young as what he used to be back when he did the show, right? So, was he still going to be like that captain figure that we all remember? And I have to say, he's pulling it off quite well, right? Certainly better than what I thought it might go, right? But he's doing a good job there, and I'm really digging the new TV show there. And I like too how they blend some of the other characters in there too. So, if you haven't watched Picard and you're a CBS All Access subscriber, then definitely check out Picard.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, breaking news. While we were doing this, BioCow added and fixed a dark mode on TVS on Showbot. So if you breaking news, you can now toggle. Sweet. And that is why I support BioCow and Showbot, because he's always adding cool stuff just for fun.
Yeah.
But for my rant or my rave, I will say there's one thing that I have been I think you guys should check out. And anybody out there interested in Doctor Who? Yeah. What's the likelihood that you're gonna actually go watch the old episodes?
More likely than the new ones, quite frankly.
Right?
Yeah, because I never watched any.
I
of them,
say
but,
if
but
you're
I've always
like
been
me,
interested.
if you're like me, that you have no interest in ever going to watch through the back catalog, but you do have a mild interest in Doctor Who as in general, and you would prefer people to just sit you down and like tell you what happened in every episode,
Sure.
you should check out the podcast Going Through Who.
Going Through Who?
Yes, Going Through Who. I've been listening through those. It's kind of weird because I've been listening to them in reverse order, starting with their most recent episodes and then working backwards. But I will say, this week's episode, or the most recent episode, was perfect because I started it as I was leaving my driveway this morning, and it ended right as I was pulling into my parking spot at work. The episode 1010 was exactly my commute today. So check it out. And you might hear a voice or two that you might recognize. I think there's a certain bad to the weave that has been helping out with that. So everybody, check out Going Through Who on the TCN Sam network.
I'm going to be putting it on my my podcast.
Yeah. And
Going Through Who?
So yeah, they've been going through, like, I think they're on the 6th Doctor now, so like 10 seasons in. So there's lots of episodes going back. So check it out.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Subscribed.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out with us tonight. Sorry for the false start and the issues on my end.
You're fine, dude.
No, still. I have a level of professionalism that I must hold myself to. And that bar is so high that I am constantly missing it. So, but if you don't do that, it never gets better. So, no, seriously, thanks guys for hanging out with me. Thank you all for hanging out with us. If you are watching this after the fact, we do this live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. And you should come watch us live because that's where all the fun happens. You get to hang out in the chat and submit titles, which we will be voting on BioCow's amazing Showbot. You can go to tvs.showbot.tv. There will be a remind in the chat here in a second. Head over there, start voting. We will pick that in the post show. Everybody stick around for the post show. The rest of you, we will see you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.